There is no introduction needed, but I will introduce this lady anyway. She's been on the show definitely more than any other guest we've had. I'll have to get her account. We'll have to get her. We still owe her that velvet jacket, maybe a t-shirt, maybe a List Perfectly t-shirt if she doesn't have one.
A golden watch.
That's right, golden watch. I laugh every time we say 25 plus year seller on eBay because it's got to be close to 26 at this point. So maybe just 26 years selling on eBay.
20.
List Perfectly's first user, community leader across the board, fabulous host of Listing 101. Ladies and gentlemen, she needs no introduction. Please welcome Theresa Cox to the show. Hang on.
The crowd goes wild.
The crowd goes insane, ladies and gentlemen. Here she comes. She's got her red shirt on. We're all wearing red in honor of Theresa Cox. And today
I appreciate that.
And our topic today is selling and shipping internationally using eBay with the fabulous Theresa Cox.
Hey, everyone. Thank you. Glad to be back. It's been a while.
We're so happy to have you back, Theresa. And thank you again. Like I said, we owe you a golden watch or a robe, okay, with your initials. It's overdue. And thank you for making time to talk about such an incredible topic that is almost taboo for many sellers, Theresa. You have what, 20, we were just saying 25 plus of reselling experience. Do you remember when did you started to sell internationally, please?
It was in the early days. I mean, back in 95, when I started selling on eBay, selling international was very different than it is now. But I think that it was right out the gate. You had to learn a few things and tips and tricks about which form to use at the post office, depending on how much your item weighed. But yeah, I don't think I had any reservations, probably because what you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
And so I just decided, hey, this is a global market. I'm going to take advantage of all the countries and all the buyers. And I just started off selling international. I didn't treat it any differently because I didn't know any differently.
That's amazing, Teresa, that you took that challenge so early on your reselling journey.
You don't know what you don't know. And back then it was very different, where you had to go to the post office. And it was very common for people to charge a surcharge for international shipping back in the day. I don't do that anymore. I think it's a ripoff if you do, because shipping international today is just as easy as shipping to California or New York or Florida. I mean, it's just the same thing. It's just so easy. No standing in line, no getting a form, no filling out the form in triplicate and quadruplicate and all that sort of stuff. So I've never not shipped international.
I'm curious, Teresa, were you back in the day doing the handwritten custom declaration forms?
Absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely. And then you have to learn, because
triplicate.
Yeah, you have to learn. There's one form you use if it's under 4 pounds, and one form that you used if it was over 4 pounds. And it takes you a while to figure that out. And so sometimes you were doing it twice because you filled out the wrong form. So, but then you get used to it, and you bring those forms home and have them filled out before you go to the post office and stand in line. And the process was very different. I mean, even having a digital camera to take pictures was an anomaly. And I felt very fortunate because I worked for a university, and I remember we had a $2,500 digital camera that I could check out on the weekends and take home. And I did. And that allowed me to take digital pictures where most people were taking them and going to the 1 hour photo and then scanning them. And again, you got one free picture, and then every additional picture was 10 or 15 cents. And so that played into how many pictures you had. Sellers today, they don't know how easy they have it.
It's interesting you bring those things up. You're talking about early on challenges. And even to me, international shipping is very scary. What has been your biggest challenge in shipping internationally?
Teaching people that it shouldn't be scary.
Okay.
I mean, I joke about that, but I tell people it's not any different than shipping to California or New York. And, today's e-commerce is very different than the e-commerce of 25 years ago. And so 25 years ago, there were countries that we didn't ship to. We didn't ship to South America. They had a very high theft rate.
That's
and
right.
we didn't ship to Italy. Italy had a very high theft rate, and your packages wouldn't make it. Over time, post offices and countries, I don't know, up their security, whatever they did. When e-commerce became more global, then those issues just sort of fell off. And so I think that for some sellers, they think that those issues are like when people say, "Oh, I don't ship to these countries." Like, yeah, that was from 20 years ago. It's okay.
Yeah.
The other thing, especially with eBay, is to know and understand the different options. You have global shipping program, which is where you ship as a seller. I would ship it to Kentucky, and then eBay takes care of it and ships it out to the countries. And there's also eBay standard international rate, and that's very similar to like Pirate Ship's simple export rate. And you don't need to know all this stuff. You just know that you can print your label and your custom forms, everything on your 4x6 label printer or on your piece of paper, put on your package, and the post office picks it up. I mean, it's really just that easy.
Now you are selling in multi different platforms. Okay, Teresa, where are you selling? With which platforms are you selling internationally, please?
eBay and Etsy. eBay by far my biggest one. I sell probably 25 to 30% of my items go international.
Oh,
Etsy, I have it as an option. I don't think I've ever. Oh, I have sold stuff. I sold a Mary Poppins game to France on Etsy. So I probably sold more than that, but that's what just popped in my head.
yeah.
I believe that with Poshmark, you can sell to Canada, but I'm not positive. I haven't had any Canada sales. But I think those are the three, at least the three that I use mostly that have international option. And for those that aren't, that, maybe you're not as versed in selling on eBay as I am, I would say to give it a try and do not shut that market down, because think about it. If you're not selling globally on eBay, you're missing a huge market share. eBay is the second largest online platform on the internet. And the fact that they have a global reach is huge. I mean, and I don't know, Doug, you may know from your days at eBay, but I don't know how many different countries that eBay is in, but it's more than Amazon.
Doug looked that up recently, and it was, what was it, Doug? 170.
Something crazy.
Yeah.
I was going to say somewhere around 180 would be my guess.
Like that. Sorry. Some of those countries, eBay's the top over Amazon.
Yeah. And so, you want to miss that just because you're afraid? And no, you don't. And so this is what I tell people when I teach them about shipping. And a lot of people will use global shipping program. And it works for a lot of people. It doesn't work for me. I tested it out for 6 months and had 0 sales using global shipping. And then, but I have seller friends that sell car parts. They all use global shipping and love it. And it just depends, I think, on what you're selling. Yeah. But I ship international on my own, which means that I print the label out and do it all myself, and not use eBay's global shipping program. And it's just as easy as, there's a few things now you have to put a harmonization code in, and you're going to go, what's that? When I ship something, I just Google, what's the harmonization code for toys? What's the harmonization code for shoes? And you just make that term a very generic term. And Google tells you what it is, you plug it in, and you're on your way.
So, Theresa, communicating with the buyers, is it more difficult to communicate with international buyers than domestic buyers?
I don't think so. I mean, Google Translate, that's what I use. I use Google Translate to figure out what they are asking. And then I also respond in Google Translate, and I'll type my answer out in English and then translate it to whatever language they're in and post that. And that works really, really well. And it's a couple more steps, but it's, I'm happy to have that. I just communicated with somebody in, I don't remember, they wanted to know if I had a different, the same shoe in a different size or something like that. And sorry, this is the only size I have. And that's it, The other thing that I've learned about with communicating, and I only speak English, I speak a little bit of French from high school, but that was way too long ago. And so what I've learned is that when you're trying to communicate, you keep it very simple. You know, Americans have a lot of slang and there's a lot of this and that. And if you just keep it very simple as to, you know, I'm sorry, I don't have that shoe in
Sure.
size X.
Okay.
That's great, Teresa. That's great too, that you're sharing that with our audience, because I believe, okay, that we are, as a reselling community, we have like almost like a perspective that reselling international is going to be much more or more risky than selling domestically. Now, have you notice a difference in between returns, requests for returns internationally? And we know that eBay does not allow, as far as I know, eBay does not allow international returns, right?
You can have it, you can, international sellers can return. It's usually, it depends on how your business policies are set up. I have mine set up that international, actually, I have mine set up to buyer pays for return shipping,
Okay.
whether it's international or not. And so, you know, a lot of times if there's an issue, if it's an item not as described or something like that, you have to accept the return. And 9 times out of 10, I just issue a refund because, you know, most of the stuff that I am going to be selling, is it worth it to have the return from international?
Got it. So, speaking about international sales, I want to ask you, what's the biggest item you have ever shipped internationally, please?
The first thing that pops in my head was these 4-foot Christmas trees that, so it wasn't big and it wasn't heavy, but it was probably, you know, 24 inches, maybe 30 inches long, and maybe 6 by 6. The interesting thing for that, and this is why I try to teach sellers that don't get hung up on the cost to ship an item. These were pink cashmere Christmas trees that I bought on clearance at Walmart one year. Walmart was selling them for $15. I got them on clearance for $2.50. I had probably 15 or 20 of them, and I sold every single one of those. I listed them at $49.99, and I sold every single one of those to Australia. For whatever reason, Australia had a thing for pink cashmere Christmas trees, and the shipping on it was $59. So they bought an item for 50, shipping was $59, and I didn't have any problem selling them all. And that's the first thing that popped in my head as far as big as his size being 30
Yeah.
inches. Anything that's over 4 pounds goes in a different shipping class for international. So I tend, in my wisdom and, I don't know, laziness, I'll call it laziness, I don't have a ton of stuff that's over 4 pounds. And so for anything 4 pounds, I just eliminate that part off my plate, and I just only make global shipping program an option for those items, because then I am only responsible for shipping it to Kentucky, and eBay can figure out how to get it to France or Iran or Germany, wherever it's going.
Interesting. We just talked about size. Let's talk about valuable items. So you've shipped some pretty valuable items around the world and domestically. So what's the most valuable thing, if you want to tell us, that you've shipped, and what tips do you have to, because people freak out too, sending something that's worth a lot of money.
Yeah, you know, in 25 plus years, the only thing that I've ever lost, and I remember I shipped it to Iraq, and it was a red like sandwich maker thing that was probably cost me $15, and I probably sold it for 40 or 50 or whatever. And they didn't get it, and I don't remember what the situation was, but it was just easier to refund it. I don't know the most expensive, but I will tell you that I do insure every single international package. And I like pirate ships insurance because they will reimburse you for the cost of shipping as well as the item. So if I sell something for $50 and the shipping is $65, I will insure it for $115.
Okay.
And then pirate ship will, through their insurance program, will reimburse that whole $115 if something happens to it. I've never had an issue with an international package getting lost or not showing up or anything like that.
Yeah, that's amazing. No, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And what would you say that, what is the top shipping lessons that you would share with our audience that you have learned so far?
For international shipping, know that anything 1 to 8 ounces is one price. 9 ounces to 2 pounds is another price. And then you can 2 to 3, 3 to 4. And then once you hit 4 pounds, 4.4 pounds, 1 ounce, it changes from international first class to international package. And the cost to ship, I think it even has to go priority. The cost to ship skyrockets. So when I talk about the bigger or heavier packages, typically everything that I have 4 pounds and under, not even a question, goes international. If it's over 4 pounds, then I really look at the size and the weight and all that sort of stuff. And I will use eBay's calculated shipping for that and only for that. Just because, frankly, I'm too lazy to figure out how much it's really going to cost. The other big tip is don't be afraid to do it. What I tell people is turn on global shipping, international shipping. Don't eliminate any countries, make it worldwide. And when you sell an item and you have a question, come to the Facebook group and ask. We will tell you it is not that difficult. It's overwhelming right now because you don't understand, but it's not so overwhelming and hard that we can't explain to you how to do it in a Facebook group. So check those boxes, offer global shipping or international shipping. And then when something sells, don't hesitate to reach out to your fellow sellers in the Facebook group and get our help for how to do this. It's like your post is going to be, I sold this to Turkey. Now what? And then we're going to tell you how to do that.
Great tips.
Teresa, what are the shipping essentials every seller should have, please?
Well, first of all, you need a scale, which is, I kind of laugh, but, Poshmark sellers that come to eBay, they have to buy a scale because they've never had to worry about weight, as long as it's not over 5 pounds. I tell them, get on eBay. This is going to be your first eBay sale. It's going to help with your feedback, and buy a scale. You can get one for under $20. So you need a scale. And obviously you need to have some shipping supplies, poly mailers, boxes. I send quite a few packages to Peru. My minion is serving mission in Peru. And one of the things that I have discovered is, because I do send her a box every month, it doesn't matter the size of the box like I would think it did. It goes mostly by weight. So if I have a 10 by 8 by 6 and it's 3 pounds, it's the same cost as a 12 by 6 by 6. And for Peru, what I've discovered is that there is a sweet spot. And I only did this because I'm sending her a package every month. It's like, if it's a 2 pound box, let's just say it's $17 or $18. If it's a 3 pound box, it's like $25. So that's only a couple more dollars. If it's a 4 pound box, at 25 jumps to like 38.
Huh.
So it's like, it's not worth it to me, because frankly, I'm just sending her cereal and chocolate and stuff like that to eat. It's not worth it to me to send that extra pound for that extra $13. Am I going to worry about that when I'm selling an eBay item? Or no, I'm not. It's just going to be, this is how much it is. And if it's under 4 pounds, it is what it is. Even if you have free domestic shipping on your item, it does not mean that international is free as well. It doesn't default to free. I think you have to put in some sort of fee or charge or how you're going to ship it international. I do international flat rate, same to all buyers. I have this little chart and this method that I use to figure it out. And because I'm not one that micromanages every sale, sometimes, and I will tell you, it's been a long time since my little chart, I'm all about making it easy when I list, has cost me more money. So if it's something between 1 and 2 pounds, I have it set price to $24.99 for every buyer, every country. Yeah. And if it's 2 to 3 pounds, it's $34.99. And 3 to 4 pounds is $44.99.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter if I'm shipping to Japan or if I'm shipping to Chile or Russia. It fits into as long as the weight is correct, it fits into those things. The one country with the exception is Canada.
Oh,
so Canada does get a different rate, because $34 to ship a 3 pound package to Canada is too much money. It would cost probably 18, maybe 22.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't get any Canadian sales if I didn't do that.
All right.
So again, this is a lot. If you're listening to this and you want to learn how to do international shipping, I get it. It's a lot. It's a lot to absorb, and you don't have to absorb it. You just have to do it. I learned this from doing it for 25 years. And the same thing with shipping, the best thing, just domestic shipping, the best thing that somebody pointed out to me was anything that's 1 ounce to 1 pound is first class, and anything 1 pound, 1 ounce and over is priority when you use eBay shipping. That made all the difference in the world. Then I didn't have to worry about, well, how much is it? What do I ship if it's 9 ounces? And what do I ship if it's a 1 pound, 2 ounces, and so on and so forth. So it's overwhelming because there's a lot of options. But if you just trust the system, maybe start with just clothes. Make your listings available for the international market.
Mhm.
And then when something sells, worry about how to ship it then, because it's not going to be as complicated as you think.
So, Theresa, you've used the platforms, the marketplaces. You like to experiment. You've tried different stuff over the years, nearly 26 on eBay. So, and you said you've modified your processes. So, what are you using now?
So I ship from the platforms first when
Okay.
when possible. So I use eBay exclusively for under a pound. If things are getting medium mail, things are going to fit in a padded flat rate envelope. Say that 3 times fast. And but anything that's in that I know that I can get a better rate because of cubic shipping. eBay does not offer cubic shipping. Then I will ship that, check that prices out through Pirate Ship.
Okay.
All right.
And also, if it's something that I want to insure, Pirate Ship's insurance is easier and cheaper than what eBay offers. And so that plays a part into it. The other thing, too, is I do like Pirate Ship because of their simple export. I said cubic shipping earlier, but it's simple export and for international. And if you sell something on Etsy, Etsy is integrated with Pirate Ship, as is eBay. And so when you log into your Pirate Ship account and you click import, then all the listings, sometimes I'm shipping on eBay and I'm like, oh, I sold something on Etsy. I didn't realize that, because I'll see it in my Pirate Ship. So Pirate Ship is just something that I think every seller needs to have in their toolbox.
Yeah.
I don't use it for every sale. I know a lot of people that do, but I definitely use it for eBay, Etsy, and some Macari.
That's amazing.
So, I didn't know that about Pirate Ship. You guys are going to kill me because I didn't know that you could import your listings from eBay. I always do. I have my Rube Goldberg cut and paste system. So don't kill me.
No.
But
You got to hit that import button.
all right, I'm gonna start using that. So I love Pirate Ship too, for a lot of reasons, but there are a couple of little things here and there. So to you, what are the pros and cons of Pirate Ship? A lot of sellers use it, but what are the pros and cons?
Well, the biggest one is that it's integrated with eBay and Etsy, so
Okay.
that makes those 2 platforms very quick and easy. I like their tracking system. I like that you can cut and paste. I like that you can save. So like my minion that I send things to every month, I have her address and her package saved in there. So when I go to ship it, it's very quick and easy. I just repeat that same package. Their insurance is, for domestic, I like the cubic rate. I like their simple export rate. And I like their insurance. I like the cost of the insurance. I like the fact that they will reimburse you for shipping as well as the cost of the item. And I like how easy it is if you have to make a claim.
Pirate Ship, your favorite international shipping carrier?
Yes.
All right.
I will say that everything that I ship international does go Pirate Ship.
Okay. That's a good endorsement.
Yeah. Now, when you ship internationally, now things have changed. We talked at the beginning of this session that you used to do the handwritten custom declaration forms. Now, with Pirate Ship and these incredible platforms making everything much easier nowadays for us resellers. Which forms do you still have to fill in the custom declarations form? In the does it you do it once? I'm assuming, and you don't.
Yes. Yeah. So right in the shipping flow on Pirate Ship,
Yeah.
you have I think the thing that will get new sellers tripped up is you have at the top of the form, you have your package weight total.
Yep.
So let's just say the package weight is 3 pounds. And then
Yeah.
you have to type in you need to disclose what's in the contents. And so if you download and use eBay puts your full title in there.
Yes.
So it'll say Nike men's running shoes, size blue, and you strip all of that out. You make it the simplest thing that you can, and you just write shoes,
Yep.
or toy, or doll, or you just simple bowls, whatever it
Yeah.
is. And then then it asks you for the weight of the item, and you just need to make sure that the package weight and the item weight match, or it'll
Yeah.
kick back to you. And then now you have to fill in, as recently, maybe in the last year or so, you have to fill in your harmonization code, which there's a chart on there. I don't even click on that. I just Google it, done.
Do
And
you have back in the day? I used to be a full-time reseller. Do you still have the boxes where you have to choose gift, merchandise, sample?
that's automatically filled out because it's a
Oh,
sales transaction coming off of a platform.
all right.
So when people message you and say, hey, can you mark this as a gift? It's very easy to say no. All those
Mm-hmm.
things are pre-filled and I can't change it type thing. Because they do have to pay import tax on
Yes.
those kind of things, where you don't if it's a gift, which is why people ask that question. So all of that is all filled out for you.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about triplicates. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't even have to sign it. You just have to sign the form.
Wow.
And you just print it, and it prints. I have a 4x6 label printer, and it just prints on that same label like my domestic labels do, and slap it on the box and call it a day.
Nice.
That's
Put it out for
incredible.
the mailman. I do ship 99.9% of my international packages do go USPS.
Okay.
And one of the reasons is because it is reasonably priced.
Yeah.
And I do have a pickup that comes every day. So I just put it out on the porch and the mail carrier deals with it for me.
Interesting.
Teresa, you just mentioned to keep it simple on the custom declaration forms and remove the vintage 90s, Nikes, blue, orange swoosh, original 1994 Model Z 12354. And you said to get rid of all of that and keep it as shoes. Would you mind sharing with our audience what's the logic behind it, please?
I think, because people read that. And so if you want to keep your theft of international packages down, you don't want to be telling people that these are vintage Nike Air Jordans from 1995. If they even made Nike Jordans in 1995, I don't know. Probably not. But yeah, so if you just say shoes, they don't
Yeah.
know if it's kids' shoes, women's shoes, men's, what, they don't know anything about that. And so it's going to be less likely to get stolen. I mean, maybe that's my reasoning. That's
Yeah.
we still teach to just keep that short and simple. It may or may not be relevant today, but it doesn't hurt.
Okay, audience, I'm going to add something to the great Theresa
Okay.
Cox. One thing to keep in mind on top of what Teresa said, yes, correct, 100%. But one thing to keep in mind is that customs officers, they don't speak natively English.
Ah,
And and when they see not all countries accept vintage, okay? Not all countries accept pre-owned items. And it's just because they want to prevent illnesses, and there is other reasons. They're not counting that the pre-owned pre-love item is clean, it's been stored properly. So that's what I've learned from my experience as reseller when I ask myself to custom officers in France and in Germany.
that makes way more sense today. That
Yeah.
makes way more sense. So I'm glad to learn that. Yeah, I mean, well, the first thing that you mentioned is that not everybody speaks English, like duh. And so we should make it short and simple so they can read it. And then, restrictions on countries about the stuff that they'll accept and not accept. And
That's right.
we shouldn't ship items to countries that don't accept it.
Exactly.
But sometimes, like Clara said, sometimes it's because of illness or this or that, and our items are clean or whatever it might be. And
it's allowed.
It's allowed, yes.
Yeah. So it creates a confusion for the custom officer because all they want is to prevent money laundering, they told me. So when we're doing the x-ray of the package, they just want to make sure that if you set a shoe, they're seeing a shape of a shoe and not a brick.
That makes sense. That makes way more sense than to prevent theft.
Well, that's coming from Argentina. I have to agree with you. With South America, it's gotten better, okay? But still, I feel I don't ship to Argentina. Still, I don't ship to Argentina. To my family, I still don't ship it because packages disappear, get stolen, and it's unfortunately that sometimes in certain third world countries, me coming from Argentina right now, it's ravaged by inflation, over 60% inflation. The currency just dropped 30% in value. So what happens is the same custom officers sometimes will commit a crime and steal packages. And that the same happens with the postmans because they don't get paid. They don't get paid. So it becomes a free for all sometimes. This is not a rumor. I lived it. Okay.
Yeah, I hear you. It's just not as rampant as it was 20 something years ago, but I do believe that it still exists. I absolutely do believe that.
So Theresa, you touched on returns a bit, but I think that's one of the big worries. So what are your tips in general, on how to manage returns, try and prevent returns?
You can't prevent returns. I think that international buyers know that if they want to return something, it's on them. And most of the time, if something doesn't fit or they're buying a pair of shoes or something, they're either buying a style and a brand that they know already fits them, or if they're willing to take the risk, they might be a reseller and turn around and resell it themselves or something. I have not gotten an international return that I can think of ever.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Because it states that buyer is responsible for return shipping.
Yeah.
And so if, as long as it's not as item not as described, then the buyer would have to pay.
Have you got international items not at describe?
No.
Wow.
I don't even, knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
I don't even get I don't get any items not as described.
Okay.
So now I've just jinxed myself. I know I'm going to get them now, but for whatever reason, it's not a big thing for me. But I know it is. It's a big thing in the community, and a lot of buyers will do false INADs, and that's not good.
Yeah, that's what I was leaning towards.
What an incredible session talking about international sales, shipping international, compliance with different countries about what's allowed to be shipped or not. Theresa, we have talked so much. Anything else to add? I know we're asking a lot because it's almost 52 minutes that we're talking about international sales and shipping, but you always have so much wisdom to share. Anything else would you like to share with our audience about international shipping and international sales?
I would say if you have a fear of it, reach out to the Facebook group, your friends, whatever you have, because it really, I can't reiterate it enough. It really is not that difficult to expand your business from domestic to international, and you should do it, and you will see your sales increase, which is, one of the things that I really liked about List Perfectly is I never took the time to do the metric system in my listings for my clothing. And so with List Perfectly, it automatically, if I type in 32 inches, it will automatically put in my listing what that metric equivalent is. So it saves me a huge step. And once I started using that, my international sales went back up again on clothing. And so that's something else to think about is that, if you're going to do that, then use the section of List Perfectly's listing form to put your measurements in there and let List Perfectly auto calculate that for you. And you will see sales increase internationally.
Wow, what a pro advice. Thank you, Teresa, for sharing that with our community. Dag, what an incredible session. This was incredible. Makes me want to go back to Teresa and ship something internationally.
No, you don't want to go back to reselling. You're doing really well with what you're doing. You keep doing that.
Thank you. Thank you. But I do miss reselling, but it's beautiful that I get to help resellers like yourself and build tools, and at the same time still be in contact through the podcast and
Yep.
Doug helping us to interview incredible community members like yourself. Again, thank you, Teresa, for your time and your wisdom today.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, and Clara, we need you where you are. Teresa, we need you where we are. And then there's me, but no, we're all in the right spot, I think.
And we need
Teresa,
you where you are. We need.
And Teresa,
Yes.
it's always fun to talk to you. We enjoy it. And I'm going to count up the number of times you've been on the show, and we'll even count the number when you're in panels. So that will count towards your
Oh.
tally. But I guarantee it has to be at least 10.
How many times do you have to be on there before you get a car?
100.
Doug's going to send me one of these kind of little cars.
There you go. At some point, it'll be, what it was, Mary Kay, where you get the pink Cadillac.
Cadillac. I want a red one.
I love it. No, you're making me think about this. Okay, we gotta do something, but it's gonna cost you 100 sessions. Okay.
So, Clara, you could do a green and blue Camaro with the big LP logo on the hood.
Right?
I have Camaro.
I don't know. I don't know. I like Escalade.
Let's go
It's
a
Doug.
little sportio, a Corvette or something like that. You know,
There you
something
go.
a little more fancy. Clara needs a little more sport, a little fancier in her life.
I love it. Well,
Or we could go suburban and use it as a sourcing vehicle.
right?
There you
Oh,
go.
there you go.
There
A
you go.
sourcing mobile.
There you go.
A lot of sellers do it. They travel and source while they're moving around.
It's a write-off.
Yes.